A little advice for the governors and the mayors, having been in that position in 3 extraordinarily difficult situations. I'd say 1 equal to this. Take the blame when you have to. You know, if you play with your boss, sometimes it's better if you don't win the golf game. He's the boss. He's got all the resources. I don't say that he's going to be affected in giving out resources one way or another, but it's just human nature that if you act like a responsible guy and he's got real confidence that you're doing what you're doing, he's going to give you everything you want. I think you could ask President Bush to this day. I don't think there's a single thing I asked him for he didn't give me right away.
At this point, the only excuse I can think of for parading Rudy Giuliani on national television is that the Trump administration is trying to embarrass itself. Because what we have is Giuliani effectively saying that Trump is exactly as petty as we all think he is, so if the governors want to be able to secure life-saving equipment and gear for their citizens, who coincidentally also happen to be American citizens, they have to be willing to bend the knee for Donald Trump. This came in response to the all-too-predictable and decidedly one-sided feud between Trump and Michigan's Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and it was born out of the fact that Whitmer appeared on MSNBC to rightly criticize the Trump administration for its delayed response to the crisis.
When we close the restaurants to dine in and we close all the bars, that is going to mean that people are going to lose their jobs and a lot of businesses are really going to struggle. We know this. But at the end of the day, we have to make decisions based on the best science, the best facts, and what is in the best interest of the public health. And places of mass congregation are where this virus continues to spread. In order to flatten the curve, we need to be aggressive on the front end. The federal government did not take this seriously early enough, and now it is on us to make sure we're doing everything we can based on the best facts and science available, and that we are always putting the health of our people front and center. So
now, I should note that objectively, she's exactly right. The outbreak not only did spread because of a complete lack of decisive action by the federal government, but it continues to spread for that exact reason. We still don't have any federal stay-at-home orders. We still don't have nationwide testing. We still don't have clear guidance. All we have is a patchwork of different rules from different governors that vary from state to state and mostly depend on political party. Because somehow, Republicans have largely decided that issuing stay-at-home orders is unpatriotic and that Americans should have the freedom to be outside and allow the virus to spread uninhibited as millions of lives are put in danger. But what Trump took out of that interview wasn't the fact that maybe he should be doing more to keep people alive, but instead that he needed to punch back against the apparent insubordination of someone who he felt wasn't being sufficiently loyal. And so, of course, he embarked on a mission to relentlessly attack her and other governors whom he felt should be singing his praises more.
We're really a second line of attack. The first line of attack is supposed to be the hospitals and the local government and the states themselves. I mean, we have people like Governor Inslee. He should be doing more. He shouldn't be relying on the federal government. Governor Inslee, that's the state of Washington. He was a failed presidential candidate, and, you know, he's always complaining. And your governor of Michigan, I mean, she's not stepping up. I don't know if she knows what's going on, but all she does is sit there and blame the federal government. She doesn't get it done, and we send her a lot. Now she wants a declaration of emergency, and, we'll have to make a decision on that. But Michigan is a very important state. I love the people of Michigan, what they do. I'm the one, I'm bringing back many, many car factories into Michigan, and she is a new governor, and it's not been pleasant. And, you look around and you see what's going on. And by the way, most governors have been fantastic, I have to tell you. Most of them, whether it's Democrat or Republican. But we've really had some trouble with the state of Washington. The governor, he ran for president, didn't exactly do well. He got 0. And we've had a big problem with a woman governor from, who I'm talking about, from Michigan. So
These are people that should be appreciated. He calls all the governors. I tell him, I'm a different type of person. I say, Mike, don't call the governor of Washington. You're wasting your time with him. Don't call the woman in Michigan. Well, it doesn't make any difference what happens.
The governor of Washington?
No, you know what I say? If they don't treat you right, I don't call.
In other words, Trump admitted that if he doesn't think a governor is loyal enough to him, he's willing to withhold federal assistance during a pandemic, which was made even worse by the fact that immediately after Trump's interview with Hannity, Governor Whitmer told a local radio station that the state is having trouble procuring the equipment needed, saying, What I've gotten back is that vendors with whom we've procured contracts, they're being told not to send stuff to Michigan. It's really concerning. I reached out to the White House last night and asked for a phone call with the president, ironically at the time this stuff was going on. So when the people of Michigan don't have the equipment or gear that they need to stay alive, they can find solace in the fact that the President of the United States wasn't willing to help them because his own ego wasn't being coddled enough. By the way, there is some irony in Rudy Giuliani, of all people, being the one to come on national TV and basically say that these governors aren't going to get what they need until they give Trump the praise he's requesting. I guess quid pro quos have become a bit of a specialty for him. And of course, Trump then tried to pin the blame for his own inaction on the governor. He tweeted, "Failing Michigan governor must work harder and be much more proactive. We are pushing her to get the job done. I stand with Michigan." But the thing about claiming someone who has been proactive hasn't is that it's really easy to disprove. She responded on Twitter writing, "Now that I've got your attention, Mr. President, attack tweets won't solve this crisis, but swift and clear guidance, tests, personal protective equipment, and resources would. FYI, here's what I've done so far. Created COVID-19 task forces, ensured Medicaid waiver for copays and cost sharing for testing, declared a state of emergency, recommended mitigation strategies, expanded access to telemedicine, closed all K-12 schools, prohibited large gatherings 250 and up, restricted entry into care facilities and juvenile justice facilities, enhanced restrictions on price gouging, closed places of public accommodation, prohibited large gatherings of 50 and up, and expanded unemployment benefits." And during that time, while Governor Whitmer was actually being proactive, Trump was out there hawking untested drug cocktails, pretending that the virus was completely contained, and even suggesting that we pack the churches for Easter. He even took to Twitter to give Governor Whitmer a nickname. He wrote, "I love Michigan, one of the reasons we are doing such a great job for them during this horrible pandemic, yet your governor, Gretchen Half Whitmer, is way in over her head. She doesn't have a clue. Likes blaming everyone for her own ineptitude." Now, ultimately, Trump relented and approved Michigan's request for an emergency declaration on Saturday, but not after proving that he was willing to withhold action that would save the lives of countless Americans because he felt like his ego wasn't being stroked enough, which is a strange strategy in a state that he needs to win in November, especially considering that 69% of Michigan residents approve of her handling of the outbreak versus 51% who approve of Trump's handling. Apparently, extortion isn't too popular these days. So governors will continue to step up in the absence of the federal government, and Trump will continue to attack them because he feels threatened. And that will only make clearer just how much new leadership is needed in the White House.